everybody, and welcome back to the 9th episode of the Triboro Podcast. Why am I emphasizing everything? I have no idea.
You should.
I'm your host, Justin Alonso. I am joined by my co-host, Nicholas O'Brien.
Hello.
How are you doing, Nicholas O'Brien?
I'm alright.
What am I doing?
I'm fighting a little something, but I'm giving the content
Fighting your
to the
demons?
people. Yeah. But it's okay. If you hear me sniffle throughout the episode, I apologize.
Demons called stuffy nose.
Yeah. Me fighting my demons. My tummy hurts.
I have no plan on what to go for from here. So we're going to be talking about the Yankees winning another series, only team in baseball not to lose a series this year. And the Mets doing what the Mets did, I forget, because that was like 10 years ago.
Taking 2 out of 3 from the LA Dodgers.
Well, I'm sorry. It was like 20 years ago.
I know, because the Yankees wanted to have an off day on Monday.
I'm sorry.
So we had to push back the episode.
You know why they had an off day on Monday?
Blame the Yankees.
Do you know why they had an off day on Monday?
Why they have an off day on Monday?
Because the Red Sox played on Monday for Patriots Day to remember the people that died in the Boston Marathon. Yeah, now you feel bad, don't you?
Oh, because the Red Sox played the Angels.
Yeah.
Man.
It was because of the Boston Marathon. Now you feel
right.
bad, don't you?
Now I'm
apologize.
Now
apologize.
I'm sorry, everybody.
Yeah, okay.
I'm sorry.
So,
anyways.
Into Bronx.
Into the Bronx.
Now entering the Bronx.
Hello, and welcome back to the Bronx, where we are celebrating another series win. As I mentioned in the intro, the Yankees are the only team in baseball to not lose a series. Feels fun.
Yeah.
So,
get into it.
Let's get into the injury update brought to you by the Triboro MD, greatest fantasy name of all time. So, Carlos Rodon is getting another CAT scan on his back, still believed to be minor. Who knows at this point what's happening with that?
Mm-hmm.
Shut up.
If only someone warned you that Rodon is injury riddled.
Shut up. Who knows with that? I think, based off what you're seeing, I think they're just being uber cautious. First year of like a mega contract.
No, I know. And look, it's still only April. I mean, like, we're almost into May, but it's a long season.
Rather pitch in the postseason then.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Stanton is officially diagnosed with a grade 2 hamstring strain. He's out 4 to 6 weeks. Literally baby him.
Yeah.
Baby. I don't care if it's 8 weeks to 10 weeks. Baby him so this is not an issue later down the road.
Yeah.
Some good news, though. Donaldson got a setback. He did a rehab game, felt tightness, so he shut down again.
Yeah.
Something to note. Now, getting into the good news. Harrison Bader is doing a rehab start today. The Yankees tried doing something slick by trying to convince us Ben Rortvedt is real and saying that he's doing a rehab start today in single A.
No way.
I think that's just the front office manipulation trying to push this agenda that Ben Rortvedt is real.
Mm-hmm.
The shadow government.
The shadow government.
Luis Severino threw a sim game on Thursday. He pitched to Harrison Bader, and apparently Harrison Bader was like, what the hell? Like, this dude is just...
He looked good.
Yeah, he looked great.
Very nice.
Apparently, he, broke 2 bats.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's really it. No real, cool stories to, get into, so we'll get into the game recap. Game 1, another Clark Schmidt L with a 5-2 Angels victory. Top of the first, Taylor Ward doubles. Then that Ohtani guy hits a home run, 2-0 Angels. Yeah, that Ohtani guy. Then Anthony Rendon knocks in Trout to make it 3-0. Renfroe knocks in Rendon, 4-0. Bottom of the 4th, Anthony Volpe walked with a base loaded. Judge sac fly to make it 4-2. That's an issue that we've seen in the beginning of the year. They can't really blow it open except for third game, but we'll get into that. Then top of the 5th, Rendon sac fly to make it 5-2 Angels. That ended the scoring.
Yeah.
Clark just did not look good. In 3.2 innings of work, he gave up 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 0 walks, 5 Ks. No walks.
No walks.
No walks.
Yeah.
We're gonna look at anything. 5 Ks. Woo. Jose Suarez threw 3.1 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 6 walks and 1 strikeout. 6 walks in 3.1 innings pitched.
Yikes. Clark Schmidt better.
They were doing good against him. They just couldn't break out.
Yeah.
Like, that's what? That's 9 base runners through 3 1/3.
Yeah.
That's...
And you score how many runs?
2.
Yeah.
That's just...
You just gotta get more there.
And that also doesn't include the judge sac fly.
Right.
That doesn't count as a base runner.
Yeah.
And that's like a run, so...
Right.
All right. But that was the Yankees' obligatory one loss of the series. Game 2 was a 3-2 Yankees win. Joni Burrito versus Griffin Canning. Both of them not real names. Top of the first inning, Aaron Judge robs Shohei Ohtani of a home run for the second year in a row at Yankee Stadium. This was a bomb.
I know.
There was a thing of like, they did like the Statcast numbers, like, oh, balls hit this hard, this far, this launch angle, whatever. Right. And that was the only ball out of like 2,000 that was not a home run. Right. So that's just
because of crazy. Some 7-foot guy in center field.
And also Yankee Stadium being bigger than people realize.
Uh-huh.
So in the bottom of the first, Anthony Volpe gets a single. Then that Aaron Judge guy hits a home run. To make it 2-0. That Aaron Judge guy. All right, bottom of the third. I just wanted to mention this because it fits my narratives.
Mm-hmm.
Volpe walks, steals They didn't call it a steal. I think it should have been a steal because he was thrown out on a ball that was 5 feet in front of the catcher.
Right.
And then steals third. And
real quick. I think the most impressive thing for me on the steal of second is how long it took the catcher to realize.
But it's like, yeah, but it didn't even take him too long.
No, I know.
Volpe's like instinct to just go.
Yeah.
Like made it look like it was a lot worse than it really was.
Yeah.
Then the top of the fourth, Volpe makes a wild play. I just wanted to include certain things that it's like, because I'm not sure how you feel, but I definitely think that like both aspects of the game play off each other.
Yeah.
Like how many times do you see a guy make like a crazy play in the field, hits a home run?
Right.
So I think like it also goes both ways.
Definitely.
Top of the fifth, Taylor Ward RBI ground out to make it 2-1 Yankees. Top of the eighth, 2-out single for Hunter Renfroe. There was like a weird balk. I can never pronounce it. I can just never pronounce it. That like
balk.
No one thought it should have been a call.
Uh-huh.
Like not a single person thought it should have been a call.
Except for the umpires.
And there was also a play earlier where there was a balk.
Right.
And the pitcher for the Angels balked, but they didn't call it, and IKF ended up getting thrown out. The only time you'll hear me defending IKF. That got Renfroe to second.
Yeah.
Then Gio Urshela, Yankee legend, hit a bloop single that scored that run.
Yeah.
So it's just like...
It's one of those things where it's frustrating.
Yeah.
And I think...
Stuff like that, you always know something like that's going to happen.
We'll talk about umpires, trust me.
Oh, yeah.
But I hate how subjective some of these rules are, especially the balk, and
I don't
especially
know what a check
something
swing
else.
Is.
Exactly.
I have watched baseball for the last 5 years.
Right.
My dad has watched baseball his entire life. Neither of us have an idea what a check swing is.
I mean, by the rule book, I'm pretty sure if the bat crosses the plate, that's a check swing.
Yeah, but I also know some umpires do it by wrist.
Right. If the wrist breaks, then it's a check swing. So
no one knows.
Except for the umpire who calls it. And then he's probably wrong.
They don't know.
But it's frustrating.
All right,
anyways.
Whatever. Still on the top of the eighth, that Aaron Judge guy makes a crazy play in center field. Yeah, that Aaron Judge guy makes a crazy play to rob an extra base hit that would have scored another run. The bottom of the eighth, I'm only mentioning this because it fits my narrative. Volpe leadoff hit.
Mm-hmm.
Only reason why I mentioned that. Top of the ninth, Clay Holmes does his thing.
Mm.
But before that, to fit my narrative, Anthony Volpe makes a play. Like, that play in the fourth was wild.
Yeah.
He made one 10 times better. And I have the numbers here. Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
He's 74th percentile in outs above average, but I think we both agree, like, he plays better than that.
Yeah.
In the
eye test's a little better. Just a tad.
Because the thing, like, his arm strength isn't good.
Right.
But just the ability to, like,
the transition.
glove to hand is literally, like, I've never seen someone make
quick,
that transition faster than that.
It's
that was, like,
smooth,
a thing
too. Yeah.
in the minors, like, that was, like, his big thing.
Right.
And then, Clay Holmes does...
Clay Holmes slings.
Hits Taylor Ward, walks Ohtani, gets 2-0 on Trout, gets full on Trout, then ended up striking Trout out on a check swing that was probably not a check swing.
Right. Check swings, what are you?
He scares me, bro.
His Houdini act of the day.
Bottom of the ninth, pinch hit Peraza against a lefty instead of Hicks. That was
interesting.
Because the whole thing of Hicks is gonna start against lefties. You don't pinch hit Hicks for a lefty. Yeah, Peraza immediately gets hit by the pitch. Doing your job. Your job is to get on base.
Get on base, yeah.
Oswaldo push bunts too hard. Angels end up getting the lead runner. Then Trevino strikes out. Oswaldo steals second on the strikeout. Then another thing. Franchi Cordero got pinch hit by IKF. You're pinch hitting IKF, who at that point did not have an RBI in the season, had like 2 hits on the season over Hicks. I'm not saying you should have pinch hit Hicks. I'm just saying
it's very telling.
Against a lefty, too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, IKF ended up getting out. So then we go to the bottom of the 10th. Volpe bunted.
Yeah.
Lead off the inning. I just don't get that.
Yeah, I mean,
I just don't get it.
It's one of those things. You have Judge behind him, but then he's
By the way, they did a scoreless top of the 10th.
Right. But you have Judge behind him. He's gonna probably get walked anyways.
That's exactly.
I don't know. Because you would think he'd get pitches to hit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And at the same time, he should get the bunt down, which he didn't. Mm-hmm. But he shouldn't be bunting in the first place.
Exactly. Because I have like a little thing is like Judge is on deck. No matter what, unless the game is over, Aaron Judge is going to be intentionally walked.
Right.
But Volpe, one of his key things, we'll get into later, is he is elite at walking, at taking your walks. So you get first and second, they may not walk Judge. They may walk Judge. That way, if they do intentionally walk Judge, okay, winning runs to scoring position, you could still win on a double play ball.
Right.
So it's like there's no reason to have him bunt. Any way you look at it, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't agree with it, but
whatever. So shocker, they intentionally walked Judge.
Right.
I don't think IKF got the third. I think it wasn't that good of a bunt.
No, it was a pop up.
Yeah, pop up. Yeah. That was another thing. Rizzo gets hit. Shocker. So bases loaded. Gleyber Torres with a walk off sac fly.
Yay!
I'm seeing people give Gleyber shit for walking the game off. I know I.
How dare he hit a sac fly?
How dare? It's almost like people don't understand. There's a thing called situational hitting.
Yeah.
His job is to get the run in. There's one out.
Right.
Any way you could get that run in, it does not matter. Just get the run in.
The only thing you don't need to do in that situation is hit a ground ball.
Yeah.
Hit a single, hit a double, hit a fucking, I don't know. But
hit a baseball.
Just hit it. Just not on the ground. And he did it.
That's the whole thing, too, is like your job, elevate the baseball.
Yeah. He did it.
And
it won the game, so like.
Whatever, you're an idiot if you're making fun of Gleyber for that. And I will fight people on that hill. I will. To give the starting lines, Joni Burrito, 4.1 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts.
The
walks were a little concerning.
Right. At least he got out of the first inning this time.
Yeah, that was. Griffin Canning, 5.1 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. Give me a second, I'm dying. I'm pretty sure there was a point where, like, after the Judge home run, he retired, like, 8 straight.
Right.
So it's like, they did kind of, like, shut down.
Yeah.
That's really it for Game 2. Game 3 was a 9-3 Yankees win. So it was Nestor Cortez versus Patrick Sandoval, a duel of 2 slower throwing lefties. Volpe leadoff walk in the bottom of the first. Judge single, Rizzo single, 1-0 Yankees. Peraza base loaded walk, 2-0 Yankees. Jose Trevino base clearing double, 5-0 Yankees. That was a perfect first inning, but then they kind of just like.
All right, we're done.
Yeah, which like I've mentioned that how many times that like. Patrick Sandoval was at like 75 pitches through 3 innings.
Yeah.
He was still able to pitch the 4th inning.
Right.
You gotta
knock
that
him
guy out early.
Yeah, you have to.
And the Angels bullpen was depleted. You're probably gonna be playing some bum. Get your stats, get some confidence. Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You're going to get the guy that, like, all right, we don't care about your ERA.
Yeah.
Just get outs.
Going to option you tomorrow anyways.
Probably DFA you.
Yeah.
Get that confidence. Just pad your stats.
Yeah.
Everyone pads stats. I don't care who it's against.
It's one of those things where, like, you can't take your foot off the gas.
Exactly.
I mean, especially now that I feel like run differential has a lot more weight to it, that you kind of just score as many runs as you can because you never know when it's going to come to bite you in the ass.
Yeah, with all these, like, tiebreakers.
Right, with all the new tie-breaking rules.
So, top of the fifth, what's his name? The catcher? I forgot. His
Logan?
first name? No, his first name. Logan?
Logan O'Hoppe?
Logan O'Hoppe. Singles to make it 5-1 Yankees. Ward sack fly 5-2 Yankees. O'Hoppe, again, in the top of the seventh. RBI double makes it 5-3 Yankees. Bottom of the seventh, DJ with runners in scoring position. Shocker. Hits a double, 6-3 Yankees. IKF does something. He gets a bases loaded single to get 2 RBIs in, and then I completely forgot to write in my notes the ninth run. I'm 95% sure it was a Peraza base hit. Okay. It was either a walk or a base hit. I know it was Peraza.
Okay.
I want to say it was a base hit.
Right. Sure.
Doesn't matter. All right. So the pitching lines from that game: Nestor 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Patrick Sandoval, 4 innings pitched, 4 hits, 5 earned runs, 6 walks, 5 strikeouts. I think Nestor pitched a lot better than 3 runs. Right. He kind of just like had that 1 inning, really, in like the fifth, where it was just kind of like not necessarily him, but just some like unlucky stuff that happened. Top of the seventh, that was his run. He pitched 6+, not 6 innings. Let me just clarify that. Yeah.
But no, I mean, I feel like as much as you'd like less than 3 runs, I mean, I feel like that's kind of perfect.
If he had done less than 3 runs, so 2 or less runs, he would have set the Yankee franchise record for consecutive starts with allowing 2 or fewer runs. Now he's tied with the Yankees franchise record for consecutive starts not allowing more than 3.
That's funny.
So,
that sucks.
Yeah.
Making an unearned run.
Yeah. It was but yeah. So that's it for the game recaps, really. Some overall thoughts I had. Volpe's discipline is impressive. I kind of alluded to that.
Yeah.
So this is the stat that I was telling you that I was like looking at.
Yeah, you're keeping away from her.
I was like kind of teasing you about. So in 2018, because this is the most recent data I could find, the average pitches per plate appearance was 3.89. That includes walks. That includes everything.
Okay.
Game 1, he went 0 for 3 with 2 walks, and 5 plate appearances, he saw 30 pitches. 6 pitches per plate appearance.
Right.
Game 2, 2 for 3 with a walk and 4 plate appearances. I didn't include the bunt because I thought, that's not a real plate appearance.
It's a throwaway.
That's like a throwaway plate appearance. So that's another 6 pitches per plate appearance.
Right.
Game 3, 0 for 3 with 2 walks, 26 pitches and 5 plate appearances. 5.2 pitches per plate appearance. That's a significant amount more average, and that's exactly what you want from a leadoff hitter.
Definitely, yeah.
The hits aren't there, but they'll come.
They'll come.
He's very selective in the pitches he's taking, and I think that's definitely going to translate. The more pitches he sees, the more comfortable.
He'll get his pitch to hit.
The more he learns about pitching.
Definitely.
Like, I mentioned it earlier, I didn't give the number, but he is 93rd percentile of walks in Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
That'll
play. Especially leadoff. I mean, was he leadoff all 3 games?
Yes. That's another thing.
Yeah, I think he's kind of found his home.
You can't move him off there.
No. He's a great leadoff guy. I mean, especially the steals and his little dancing on first base. But he's a perfect leadoff guy, and he's going to make pitchers work that very first at-bat.
And even the Judge home run, he got like 2 or 3 hanging pitches.
Right.
Because Volpe's just like,
right. So gets into the pitcher's head, it gives some other guys behind him better pitches to hit.
Exactly.
So I think it's probably it is probably the best lineup construction you can have.
I agree. Some other numbers about him. In his first 36 plate appearances, he had a 32 WRC+, which is just that's
rough.
bad.
Rough.
That means he is 68%
worse than average.
League average.
Yeah.
But in his next 29 plate appearances, he has a 304 average, 448 on base, 478 slugging with a 172 WRC plus. So that is just like.
You just gotta give the kids time.
Exactly. That's like. That's crazy. A 172.
20 plate appearances.
30.
30. Sorry. But still,
no,
it's
I think
it's good to see the improvement.
Yes. Because I think that does matter because, granted, small sample size, but the at-bats look a lot more competitive.
Right, yeah.
So
No, definitely.
I think that does matter. Just this kind of like a throwaway stat that I saw. The Yankees are now 148 and 50 in games where Aaron Judge hits a home run. I thought that was like a cool stat. I just wanted to say that. It's almost like that guy's good.
He's pretty good at this baseball thing.
Yeah. I called this. So I drafted Anthony Rizzo in fantasy baseball. Let me just say that. My main reason for doing that was because the shift was getting banned.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff I saw that in the minors and early in his career, Rizzo was a 280, 300 type hitter. Maybe not the numbers with it, but like that's the type of hitter he was. Then the shift got implemented. Then he started getting to like the 260s, 250s, like more down.
Right.
Anthony Rizzo, without the shift, is hitting 344 with a 449 on base, 578 slugging for a 1.027 OPS. And also, I didn't even talk about this. In yesterday's game, he went 3 for 3 with 2 walks. Yeah.
Love that.
I also teased you with this yesterday.
Yes.
I want you to guess what percentile he is in outs above average. That's just like saying, like, compared to other first basemen, how many more outs he makes.
I want to say like upper 90s. Is he like 99th?
99th percentile. Statistically, he is that the best or second best?
I believe that's second best.
He is statistically the second best defensive first baseman in baseball.
All right.
I'm not saying he is the best, but right now he's the best first baseman in baseball. And I don't think that overall, if you include defense,
no.
I still think.
No, Alonso's
the amount of runs he saved, though.
I mean, Alonso's not. Look up Alonso right now. He's had a good defensive year right now. He's not going to be 99th percentile, but he's definitely not going to be like horrible.
I really hope.
No, I don't think so. The eye test tells me otherwise. 84. So
okay.
So I think you give his little extra offensive production and you take a little hit on defense.
Okay, fair. I thought he was like average.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Put respect on his name.
Okay.
Put respect on the MLB home run leader's name.
I put respect on the Alonso name. I love that last name.
I'm sure you do.
It's a phenomenal last name.
It is.
It's a great last name.
It is. I agree.
I love you, Dad. Thank you. So, there was another thing where DJ's getting a little unlucky.
Oh, yeah?
You would he had kind of like a. We're saying that, but he has an 826 OPS.
Right.
He's hitting 250 with a 344 on base for. Just because the lighting, I couldn't tell if that said 8 or 6. 482 slugging. Those are solid numbers.
Yeah.
But then you look at his underlying numbers. He has 93rd percentile on average exit velo, 96th percentile on hard hit rate. So he is getting
a little unlucky.
Relatively unlucky.
Given that he's hitting 250, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd definitely say that's
Oh, I'd say a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Healthy DJ LeMahieu, that's his thing.
Right.
He's not gonna give Judge numbers at the top, but he's gonna give consistent hard hit baseballs and be like a 90th percentile hard hit guy because of his consistency.
And that's what you want in the middle of your lineup. Especially RBI chances. You just gotta put the ball in play and see what happens.
And to fit my narrative about the over my narratives are just
this is a narrative episode.
This is a narrative episode. To fit my narrative about him being a great defender anywhere you put him, and me taking the over on his defensive run saves.
Yes.
He is 89th percentile on outs above average.
Right.
So
now does that? I'm assuming it does.
I don't know.
I want to say it takes into account everything.
I knew you were gonna say.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I know.
They just have 3 different
I know. Outs above average 1, 2, 3.
Oswaldo Cabrera just has 20.
I know. That's fine. I want to say it's all together, but
yeah,
regardless, still very good.
Weighs it.
Maybe, yeah.
That's.
But overall, still very good.
Yes,
very good.
I've been saying this. A healthy DJ LeMahieu is very, very
Useful.
very good at baseball. Speaking of Oswaldo Cabrera, he is awesome. It's fun to watch him. His defense is elite, but his at bats are
getting a little.
They're
tough to watch.
They're getting uncompetitive. He's hitting .228 with a .250 on base, .263 slugging. That is I forgot to write the number. That is a .513 OPS.
Yikes.
That is not.
It's not good. Not good.
That's you could tell.
Is that worse than Hicks? Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. Number crunching.
No.
Please. No? Okay.
No.
Hicks is so much worse, isn't he?
347.
OPS?
I want you to guess his OPS plus. That's adjusted to league average.
2.
No way.
No way.
No way. On the dot.
A 2 OPS plus. So he's 98% worse than the league average hitter.
There was a point before yesterday's game that IKF had a -54 WRC+.
I saw that.
Plus. That means
I didn't even know that was possible.
54% worse.
I did not know that was possible.
That is
rough.
And I just want to talk about those two. He did make 2 really nice plays in the outfield.
Yeah, definitely.
One of them had a 99% catch probability. The other one, look, you even said it off the rip that he took such a horrible route.
He takes such bad routes, but he's making up for it?
It's almost like Clint Frazier, where the plays have upper 90s percent chance to make the plays.
But it looks so much harder
because the routes.
Because he takes some shit routes.
I will give Frazier the benefit of the doubt because he literally had, and I could sympathize with him because he had horrible migraines.
Yeah.
And he literally said he could not the stadium was spinning.
Right.
When he was fielding.
Yeah.
So that.
Sure. Give him the benefit of the doubt. IKF is just a very bad, and look, give him the benefit of the doubt because he's never played the outfield until now. But these routes are pretty bad.
Yeah.
And I said it yesterday, it looks like he's trying to make it look a lot more flashy than it needs to be.
So
he's trying to impress somebody. But no, because I forgot what inning it was, but it was a fly ball center field that he kind of circled around instead of going in a straight diagonal line. Yeah. He was circling it. So he goes up and then around, and then he has to dive to make the catch.
Yeah.
But if you just kind of diagonally go straight for it, it's an easy fly ball.
Mm-hmm. So since we were talking about his defense, I was curious to look at his underlying numbers. Guess what percentile he is for outs above average?
43.
Lower.
Oh God. 35.
Lower.
22.
Lower.
2.
Higher.
5.
Higher.
10.
14.
14. Yikes.
And his whole thing is he's a fast guy. He'll do that. 63rd percentile speed.
Yeah.
That's a bit above average.
Yeah.
That's he has so many guys that are faster than that. It's
what is he giving you at this point?
Yeah, and obviously he's not a hard hit guy.
Yeah.
11th percentile max exit velo.
Yikes.
And those are the only numbers they have on him because
he doesn't play enough. Yeah.
So it's 4 hits, all singles.
Right.
He's just not I've said this in the past. He is who he is. We can't be mad at him for being who he is. But
this doesn't fit the roster.
He doesn't fit. And I think just
trade deadline can't come soon enough.
Yeah.
Even if that.
Yeah. And one other thing I had, just because we're talking trade deadline, all that. Aaron Hicks, it's just, again, don't want to harp on the guy, but when is it gonna just be?
Just let him go.
Just
DFA him.
What was the Mad Bum?
What, his
2 years, 37 left?
Yeah, about 37, and they just cut ties.
If the Arizona Diamondbacks,
who
have a salary of what, a third of the Yankees, half the Yankees, can cut a postseason legend in Madison Bumgarner, the Yankees can cut Aaron Hicks. Who it's less money, and he's it's addition by subtraction. Getting rid of him because he has a negative WAR, meaning
he's literally costing you games.
He hurts you by playing. It's not a thing of he's costing you.
Right.
It costs more. You're saving money by cutting him.
Right.
When you think about it, just from a pure value standpoint.
Yeah.
So it's just.
It's time.
It is time.
We've been saying it's time, but it's time.
It really is just like.
You just gotta get rid of him. I think. It's only April. I don't know how much longer he gets, but I can't see it being much. Yeah. Especially that you're pinch hitting Peraza and yeah.
And we've seen how this organization treats Peraza.
Right.
So it's like
every series, I feel like they make a move that's more and more telling on their feelings about him.
It's like, he is like best friends with Willie Calhoun and Franchi Cordero.
Right.
Because they're like his shields.
Yeah.
Like Willie Calhoun definitely before him, but honestly, I think it's a thing of like he got to decide between Hicks and Cordero like
still
produces,
hitting. Yeah.
Like,
even in the platoon role.
It's like, who do you...
Yeah. I think you just cut loose.
That's like the smart thing. But Brian Cashman has an ego. And 4 more years. So...
Oh my God.
That's...
We'll see how that plays out.
Oh, I can tell you. I'm messing up my computer. I clicked like 5 buttons.
Good job.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, just like a look ahead at the 3-game series with the Blue Jays. Game 1 is Yusei Kikuchi versus Domingo Germán. I'm going to this game later today. I'm wearing a suit. I'm looking dapper.
He's gonna look dapper.
Thank you, J-Dub.
I'll look at you. I'll look for you in the stands.
Yeah. Yusei Kikuchi this year is 2-0 with a 4.7 ERA. Domingo Germán is 1-1 with a 3.86 ERA. I did not have time to look into the numbers. I am 95% sure Aaron Judge literally has like a nursery in his house for Yusei Kikuchi.
I see.
I'm 95% sure.
Right.
Yeah, who knows what you're going to get with Domingo Rosengate Germán. Because Rosen is very subjective.
It's apparently controversial now.
It's very controversial.
But we'll get into that in a few.
The thing they've been using since baseball started.
Anyways.
Speaking of sticky substances, I still remember there was a time when Kikuchi was on the Mariners. He literally just had like pine tar all over his hat, his hair, his arms, just nothing. And he threw like 7 scoreless innings.
Right.
And just nothing happened.
Different time.
Yeah, different time.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with the series, but one note I wanted to go into is MLB posted a list before the season started. Garrett Cole was not a top 10 starting pitcher. They released another list today.
He is currently.
Garrett Cole is the number 1 pitcher on the list.
He is.
Speaking of Garrett Cole, Game 2, Alek Manoah versus Garrett Cole.
Manoah, battle of the aces.
Yeah. Manoah is 1-1 with a 6.9. I can't see the difference between 6 and 8s. 6.98 ERA, and I don't think
yikes.
Versus Garrett Cole, who is 4-0, and in Justin adjusted stats has a 0 ERA. No, but really has a 0.95 ERA. I will say this: Alek Manoah owns us. He does. His first MLB start was at Yankee Stadium. He threw like 6 scoreless innings. I think. Do you have an opinion on why his numbers aren't that good?
His slider doesn't look good. It's not getting. I would need to look at the numbers, but his slider is not. I'm pretty sure it was like his good out pitch last year, and he's not getting like the same bite on it. It's just it's not breaking. It's not like.
Do you have a reason for that, or because I have?
It's just eye test for me. It's just his
like
slider doesn't look the
same.
same.
Reason behind why it could be that.
Why it could be that? I'm not sure. Again, I would need to look.
I have a reason. So there was something that I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I've seen like a lot of people talk about that the older and how do I put this delicately?
Larger.
Fatter.
Okay.
Chunkier, meatier, the bigger boys.
The bigger boys.
And the older boys, the older gentlemen, the older lads are having their numbers are getting like worse because of the pitch clock. Which I think that's like a real thing of like Manoah, like Burger Boy, just doesn't have the endurance.
Hit the treadmill, buddy.
Yeah, seriously. I don't think they have like necessarily that endurance
Right.
to be able to pitch.
Right.
Like, do.
Yeah.
So I definitely think could be part of it.
It could be.
Could be like I think like that'll be just like an adjustment period for him. Hopefully he doesn't adjust yet.
Yeah.
Give it one more start. Just one more start, Alec. Yeah, I think that's gonna be a win.
No, definitely.
Game 3. I think it's gonna be a loss. Do I even have to mention the starter?
Who's the starter?
Guess.
Is it Clarky?
No.
Is it Johnny Burrito?
No, it's Clark. I'm just messing with you.
I see.
It's Kevin Gausman versus Clark Schmidt. Kevin Gausman on the year 1-2 with a 3.65 ERA. Clark Schmidt is 0-1 with an 8.79 ERA. He let up. Let me get you the numbers from the Clark Schmidt game. He let up four runs in 3.2 innings, and his ERA lowered.
Wow.
Yeah, he had an 8.84, if I remember correctly, from doing the lineup graphic before going into the start, and his ERA lowered.
Yikes.
Great, it was like a couple points, but like
right.
still, that's
yeah. It kind of it's a bit telling. And I mean,
I don't think he's a starter.
Not. I mentioned it like an episode ago, maybe 2. I think the Clark Schmidt experiment is.
He just can't get out lefties. That's his thing.
Right.
I think that he has until Rodon comes back or Sevy, whoever's
first.
I think Sevy's first.
Right.
He has until then. I think he still is valuable as a bullpen piece. I could see him as the Loizaga King type career path.
Yeah.
Where it's like they tried using them as starters, did not work. You put them in the bullpen, let them like go off for 1-2 innings, and their stuff's electric.
Yeah.
I think that's what's gonna end up happening with him. But
no, definitely.
his stuff doesn't.
It doesn't translate well.
Multiple times through a lineup.
Right.
Especially to lefties, like I'm pretty sure that every start there's like not been a lefty on the bench.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just like
it's starting
he can't get lefties out.
His weaknesses are starting to show, and teams are starting to exploit it.
And it's like pretty easily
exploitable.
Like
right.
You could sign like Joe Schmo from like a softball beer league, and you're a left-hander, you're in.
Yeah.
So it's like.
Yeah. But I think. It's to the point where there's really no one else to replace him with, so you kind of just got to ride the wave.
Because like guys like Will Warren, something Fitz, I forget his first name, and there's like one other guy. They're 8, 10, and 11 prospects. They're all like AA.
Yeah.
They're not ready yet. Maybe at the end of the year they'll be ready if you need, but right now as it's currently constructed, they don't have the depth to like.
Yeah.
So it's like you kind of just gotta like.
You just got to go with it.
Yeah, so I'm definitely thinking this is a 2 out of 3-year.
Yeah.
It just depends on if we get Domingo Bad Stuff Herman or Domingo Rosengate Herman.
Right.
It just really depends on that.
Yeah, definitely.
If I'm Herman, I'm just cheating my ass off. If I get suspended, cool. But I have film to show teams, look what I did before I got suspended. Yeah, I'm that guy now.
You're that
They'll give me a $100 million contract, and they'll give you a 7-year ERA over the next 4 years.
Joke's on you.
Joke's on you. Yeah, that's really all I got. You got any?
No, I think Gausman looks a little inflated because he kind of blew up in Houston. Mm-hmm. So I think that might be a tough matchup. Kikuchi has been better, but better is not saying much considering what he's done the past couple of years. But no, I think you said this is most probably a 2 out of 3-year, which I think you take.
2 out of 3-year.
We're gonna coin it. That's our term. But I think you take that any day of the week, especially as much as I feel like the Blue Jays might be struggling a little bit. Still a very good team. So I think you always take it 2 out of 3-year. And then, just keep that series win streak alive at this point.
Some things that I just wanted to note. So I knew that he had good numbers versus Gausman. I wanted to, look them up. Aaron Judge against Kevin Gausman is 9 for 24 with 3 home runs and 31 plate appearances. He has a .516 on-base percentage.
Wow.
Against Kevin Gausman. He is slugging .833, .375 average for a 1.349 OPS.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's He also has 2 doubles. So what is that? That's 5 out of 9 of his hits are extra bases against him.
That'll play.
Yeah, that'll play.
Yeah.
But yeah, just something to
keep an eye on. Notable players.
Aaron Judge has good numbers.
Yes, shocker. Who would have thought?
Yeah, that's really all I got. Yeah, we will see you guys in Queens where nothing controversial happened.
No, we have nothing to talk about.
Nothing.
Right, see you there.
Now entering Queens.
Back in Queens, where nothing happened at all.
Nothing
this
at all.
Week.
The Mets had a very calm 2-3 win.
Regular series in LA.
Well.
Yes.
Nothing to worry about.
Nothing happened. But
no
something did happen.
Situations.
There was a sticky situation. Which we'll get into. But first off, as always, injury update brought to you by Triboro MD. First off, huh?
Triboro MD ICU.
ICU, yeah. That's me. I am the ICU. First off, Tim LaCastro, 10-day IL with back spasms. He was the corresponding move for Brett Beatty. I don't think he's actually hurt.
I want to say that does sound like a thing.
It sounds like a phantom IL.
But I also want to say that he had back problems with the Yankees.
Right. So maybe it is an issue, but regardless, he was the corresponding move for Beatty. Maybe they just wanted to punt it another couple days to really figure out who they want to kind of keep up here or, send down for Beatty. Jacob deGrom. Oh, wait. Sorry. We don't do that anymore. I don't have to worry about that. My bad. Carlos Carrasco. He went on the 15-day IL with elbow inflammation. He received an injection, and he's going to be shut down for about 3 to 5 days. But another update came out, I believe, yesterday or the day before that. He has a bone chip in his elbow, which might require surgery. So the plan is hopefully the injection kind of soothes it, I guess.
By the way, just to cut you off really quick, he had a finger injury in 2021, a knee injury in 2021. He had a lat injury in 2022.
LaCastro?
Yeah.
Okay.
So lat, back.
Maybe.
Whatever.
Maybe.
Just
right.
wanted to note that.
But hopefully Carrasco doesn't miss too much time. He did miss time with a bone chip. He had surgery going into 2022. It's the same thing, a bone chip in the elbow. So hopefully, that might kind of tell why he's been pitching so poorly. But again, we'll see.
Yeah, that kind of sounds like it hurts.
Yeah.
Having a chip of bone.
Right, just in your elbow, kind of just sitting there. But lastly, Justin Verlander, he's going to be put on a 5-day schedule. So he's going to do a bullpen, rest for 5 days, rehab start, rest for 5 days. So it looks like he's not going to be back until May, which is a little later than expected, but it seems that they kind of just wanted to get him into a rhythm. But that's it. No more injury updates brought to you by the Triboro MD. So let's get into the games. So the Mets took 2 out of 3 from the LA Dodgers, which is always great. Yeah, in LA, which is always great. The Dodgers are still a very good team, regardless of what you want to say about them. But game 1, David Peterson, he had a very weird start. His line looks bad, but 6 innings pitched, 7 hits, 6 earned runs, 0 walks, 6 strikeouts.
We'll get into it, but I think a lot of that was on Buck.
Maybe.
We'll get into that later.
A lot of it came from Freddie Freeman. Who would have thought? He hit 2 home runs off of Peterson. That was about half of the runs he gave up was from Freeman. He hung a couple sliders. He had some poor fastball choices, but we'll talk about that in a few. Dustin May, who was having a really good year coming to the series, the Mets kind of roughed him around a little bit. 5 2/3, 5 earned runs. Seemed to get under his skin a little bit. He looked a little flustered. The little leprechaun got a little red.
I just realized Gingergaard and Syndergaard are on the same team.
They're on the same team.
I just realized that.
I know.
For those that don't know, when May got called up, his nickname was Gingergaard because he was like
because of the hair
and
yeah. But quick scoring summary: Daniel Vogelbach hit his first home run. It was a 2-run home run. McNeil for an RBI single. Vogelbach for an RBI groundout. Brett Beatty in his first game back in the majors, an RBI single. In a down 0-2, by the way.
Yeah.
Very good plate discipline and very good at-bat from Beatty. Then a Lindor RBI groundout and an Alonso RBI single. The Mets ended up winning 8-6. The bullpen, not bad. Brooks Raley pitched an inning and 2/3. Probably left in a little too long, in my opinion. It seemed Buck wanted to try to get 2 innings out of him. Drew Smith came in and finished that inning. Then Ottavino got the save by also help with best center fielder in baseball, Brandon Nimmo.
Whoa. Have you met Isaiah Kiner-Falefa?
Sorry. I forgot IKF is making...
14th percentile outs above average? Come on now.
Sorry, my bad. Ottavino got the save, close it out. Overall, Dustin May, 18 innings, 3 earned runs in his previous 3 starts. And the Mets got him for 5 runs in less than 6 innings. Love it. And going back to Peterson, like I said, he hung a couple sliders. You don't do that to Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, no, that
or
sounds like...
Max Muncy.
Yeah.
Or waiver wire pickup from the catcher. I forgot his name. I think it was Austin Wins. Yeah, they picked him up. The Dodgers picked him up on waivers like a day before the game, and then he had a 2-run double. So some poor sequencing.
When you have a guy that's out, so you need a spot start in fantasy, and then he just goes off.
Yeah, seriously. But I think Peterson pitched a lot better than his stat line shows, and I think it was just a great offensive showing. But going on to Game 2, Tyler McGill versus Clayton Kershaw. Tyler McGill, 5 innings pitched, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 walks, 4 Ks. All 3 earned runs came from J.D. Martinez. So...
Just
Dinger Martinez. So, not bad.
How's he on the year?
Well, it's a bit inflated now since he had a really good series against the Mets. But going into it, he was kind of just average. Like, nothing spectacular.
Like Tigers, JD?
Like last year, JD. Clayton Kershaw. The Mets saw prime Clayton Kershaw this game. 7 shutout innings. I mean, it's Kershaw. You can't really do anything there. 7 shutout innings, 3 hits, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, 9 strikeouts. Kershaw just looked like Kershaw. I mean, what are you going to do? Scoring summary, there is none. The bullpen.
Scoring summary.
Yeah. The bullpen, Curtis kind of had his second clunker in a row. 1 inning pitched, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk. Not great, but not terrible by any means. I think he's kind of just coming back down to earth. Little regression back to the mean type of thing. And then overall, Clayton Kershaw is a Hall of Famer. That's it. On to Game 3.
Not, hyperbole. You say best pitcher of the generation.
Yeah, no. I mean, he's had his issues of health, but when he's on, this is what he does.
Yeah.
But Game 3. Oh, boy. Max Scherzer versus Noah Syndergaard, old friend.
Well, Syndergaard always has controversies.
Yeah.
There must be something about him.
Yes, it has to be about Syndergaard. So Max Scherzer, 3 innings pitched, 1 hit, 2 walks, 3 Ks. Now you might be asking yourself, 3 innings? What happened? Did he get hurt?
He must have hit that wall that you talked
yeah,
about.
he must have just didn't have it that year. No. He got thrown out for foreign substances. For sticky stuff. We'll talk about that in a few. But Noah Syndergaard, he pitched a lot better than I expected. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 2 Ks. Not the Syndergaard that I used to know, but definitely still valuable and still
that's been like 5 years ago.
I know.
That's not. He's just not that guy.
No, he's not. And look, 2 strikeouts in 6 innings.
It's
It's sad, but look, he's still getting outs, so good for him. Happy for him. Quick scoring summary. Red hot Brandon Nimmo hit his first home run off of Syndergaard. Tommy Pham sac fly and a Canna 2-run double, and the Mets won 5-3. Overall, it was a good game, and I feel like it kind of just gets overshadowed by Scherzer's ejection. Want to talk about that now? I have something else to talk about. You want to get into it right now?
It's your section. You
All
own this
All right.
section.
Let's start off the good. A little bit of the good.
I think.
You want to?
I feel like you do bad then good.
Bad
so,
then
like,
good.
Leave it on like
okay.
Because it's a 2 out of. You took 2 out of 3. You want to leave it on a positive note going into. You won last night.
Right. Spoiler.
But
it's fine. So.
Spoiler: if you didn't see the game last night, we won.
Yes.
You know the thing that happened. We're spoiling something that happened in the past.
Yes. So we'll get into the Scherzer ejection, and oh boy. So I'll give you a little timeline. So he was checked after the second inning. You know, the regular foreign substance check by the umpires. You know, touch your hands, caress your hands, touch the glove, all that good stuff. He was asked to wash. Yeah, turn yourself around. That's what it's all about. He was asked to wash off the rosin, which is the rosin bag you see behind the mound, which pitchers use to it kind of dries out your hand. Yeah, you little push. It dries out your hand so you just get more like grip on the baseball. So the umpire thought he had a little too much on his hand, so he was asked to wash it off with alcohol in front of an MLB official. He was checked before the third inning. Same issue. Too much rosin. I think they said there's too much in the glove, which if you have a baseball that's filled with rosin and you put it in your glove, and you take it out, you put it in your glove, it's almost as if it's going to build up. So they wanted him to change his glove. He was checked before the fourth inning. Same issue. Then he got ejected because too much rosin, it's too sticky, whatever.
Did he get ejected for that or because he was arguing?
He got ejected because it was too sticky.
That was such a late ejection then.
Right.
You know what I mean? Okay, whatever.
It's because they gave him like a chance to wash it off, I guess, which he did. He washed his hands with alcohol in front of an MLB official. So the umpire crew directed him to wash with alcohol, then watched him wash it with alcohol. And I think David Cohn mentioned this in the broadcast last night. With alcohol, if you mix it with rosin, it can make it a bit stickier. But if it can make it stickier, then why are you telling him to wash his hands with alcohol? Because it does get rid of rosin, but it also dries out your hand.
Yeah.
It's rubbing alcohol. And if you have a dry hand and you use rosin, it's going to get stickier, it's going to get tackier. So why would you tell him to wash his hands with alcohol if it's going to get stickier? So he got suspended 10 games. He's not going to appeal because, A, for scheduling, just get it out of the way. You know, he's going to miss probably one start against the Nationals.
You can mess around the rotation to make it
right.
so he only misses one game.
Right. And he should be back for a series against Atlanta.
Yeah.
So that's huge. And B, he's not appealing because the hearing would have been in front of an MLB official.
No.
Not like a neutral arbitrator.
Not a jury of your peers.
No, nothing neutral. It's going to be an MLB official. So it's basically he's just...
The umpire's playing judge, jury, and execution.
Right. He's prolonging the inevitable. So it's one of those things where just get it out of the way. It doesn't make sense because he's just fighting a losing battle.
The only reason I could see for appealing is to make it so that by the time he would get suspended, Verlander would be back.
Right.
That's the only reason.
That's what I thought as well.
But it's either way. It's
either way, it sucks.
Rip the Band-Aid off.
Exactly. Now, the umpire who ejected him, Mr. Phil Cuzzy, is the only umpire to eject people or pitcher because of foreign substances. There's been 3 occurrences, I guess, including Scherzer. Phil Cuzzy was a part of all of them.
Yeah.
Why is this guy the only guy throwing everybody out?
It just doesn't...
And it brings me to another thing. Domingo Germán had the same issue. And he got 2-3 chances to wash his hands or whatever it was.
Yeah, it just...
So now the question is, what's the proper way to go about this? Is it the way it happened with Germán? Or is it the way it happened with Scherzer?
I think it should be the way that happened to Germán.
Right.
But
you get a chance to wash it, and then he gets another chance to wash it, and then he gets another chance to wash it. But Scherzer gets 1 chance, maybe 2, and then de-eject him.
I think part of it could be is that Scherzer was a lot more animated and that could have just like because it could have just been soft. You know what I mean? Because two different guys, and like it could have been like, it could have really been because he was being soft. It's like no, I wasn't being soft. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of like save face.
And I think it was the crew chief who said it after the game, this is complete bullshit, by the way. I don't have the exact quote in front of me, but basically he was saying that they touched his hands, and it was so sticky that their hands were sticking to his hands, and then after they let go of his hands, their own hands were sticking to each other. You think this motherfucker's Spider-Man?
I was literally thinking Spider-Man,
Like,
bro.
what's going on? Like, this is such a hyperbole. Like, oh my God, they're sticking to his hands. But then you watch Scherzer, like, he's touching his own hands, and they're not sticking. So what's the deal? And these quotes are not from the umpires, like, directly. They're from a what? Pool reporter?
Union or, like...
Something like that. It's not from them directly. It's basically like, oh, yeah, he said this. Like, no, I want to hear from the umpire.
Yeah. There needs to be more accountability across baseball for
Yes.
umpires.
Yes. And I think Ken Rosenthal was on a different podcast.
His podcast?
I don't know if it's his podcast. Maybe it was the Chris Rose podcast. I forget.
He's on it a lot. Whatever.
Yeah. He's talking that in the official MLB rulebook, rosin is technically an illegal substance if used too much. So rosin is legal, but if you use it too much, it's illegal.
But how much is
illegal?
Yeah.
That's what I hate. That's what I was talking about the box earlier in the check swings. If you're suspending a guy and you're going to almost attack his integrity and you're going to fine him and you're suspending him, it cannot be based off something subjective.
And it's not, if it's like somewhat subjective, like there's a little gray area, okay.
Sure.
But this is like,
oh, I thought his hands was too sticky, so I ejected. No. That's not how it should work.
There could have been stuff on your hands that activated the rosin more that could have.
Exactly. And the other thing that I saw, I believe Scherzer was playing around with the pitch comm and like taping it to his glove. So what if it was just tape residue?
Yeah.
And you're throwing him out because of this. And Scherzer was so adamant that, he wasn't using anything. It was just rosin. I mean...
His kids hearing the message.
He was swearing on his kids' lives, sweat and rosin, sweat and rosin, sweat and rosin. Which, I should explain, the way rosin works with sweat is you have rosin in your hand, and then you get sweat from your arms, your hair, whatever, and you kind of just like...
It activates it.
Yeah.
It like makes it the tackiness.
Yes, so you kind of rub it around the ball, and you get a better grip on it. And I hate to admit it, but Trevor Bauer had this like 3 years ago when he signed for the Dodgers and all the sticky stuff things were coming out.
Is this illegal?
Yeah. He did rosin, and then he got sweat, and you could see that the ball was kind of sticking to his hand. So how are you as an umpire supposed to tell the difference between too much rosin and something else like spider tack? And then you look at his underlying numbers. His velocity wasn't up. It was like 0.2, 0.3. His RPM wasn't up, which is like the spin on his pitches. It was up like 50,
which
60.
Which is like, that's the key.
Right. Spin is like the biggest indicator, I guess.
It's like on off speed, it'll jump up like 300, 400.
Right.
If like someone's using sticky stuff.
But it was up like 50, 60.
Yeah.
Which is...
That's like the weather going from 87 to 85.
Right. That's just how you're feeling on a day, how's the weather, blah, blah, blah. Speaking of the
Especially
weather,
in LA.
Exactly. LA's hot. You're gonna sweat. And if you're using rosin and you're sweating a lot, it's gonna become tackier and tackier.
Especially being used to like New York weather where it's like not as hot, you're gonna sweat more because you're not as used to the weather.
Exactly. And it's just so frustrating that Scherzer has to go through this because he's been such a big part of like the union, and he's been very vocal about how he doesn't like the rule. Like, literally,
Do you think that could be part of it?
He was kind of, like, targeted. I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't put it past Manfred or the umpires or whatever you want to call it. Kind of make,
you're attacking us?
Right, because earlier in the week, he was on the Chris Rose podcast talking exactly what happened. Like, how are umpires supposed to know the difference? He talked, so he would, like Scherzer said, he would have to be an absolute idiot to try to pull something like this.
Yeah.
So it's just frustrating. And now he's going to be gone for 10 games. He's going to miss a start. And thankfully, the Mets won that game.
But if you lost, and you lost the series because of that in that one game.
Right.
Because you guys in the Braves tied last year for the division. If that game, you can look back and be like, oh, you know,
if we won that game. Yeah. I mean, look, there's no telling whatever, but it's frustrating. I mean, thankfully they won the game because Jimmy Yacobonis is amazing. He's the one who came in after Scherzer. Amazing name to say. But it's just extremely frustrating, and it's even more frustrating that he's not going to get, like, a neutral hearing. Like, he's just setting himself up for failure if he appeals, which I think is absolute bullshit.
Yeah.
But it's just extremely frustrating. It's one of those things where you figure it out. Like,
do your job.
Right. Like, fix the rules. Make it less subjective. Like, I think Scherzer said he thinks these things should be kind of behind closed doors, kind of like the checking and like
not a spectacle.
Right, like what happened. Like if you guys watched the game.
Ooh, I get TV time. Ooh.
Right, he Scherzer was like up in arms, yelling, very very Scherzer like, and it's just frustrating. It really is.
I completely agree.
And I think. It just goes back to MLB as a whole, and Jerry Blevins talked about this on the post game. When he came up to the majors, he had no idea where the ball was going. Like, he didn't have a good grip on the ball. So he just when he came up is when he found out about the sweat and the rosin and everything. Because the ball that's made for MLB has like a little film over it that doesn't let you get a good grip, but the rosin kind of breaks down that film. So you would think...
That's why guys like balls that are like scuffed or like...
Right. And you would think, like in Japan, their ball comes with already like a substance on it to help with grip. It seems like an easy solution.
Yeah,
Just start making the ball with... I don't exactly know how Japan does it, but make a ball that has something on it that helps with the grip. But it's an extremely frustrating situation. It is what it is at this point. So we're going to miss Scherzer for about a start. He'll come back for Atlanta, hopefully pitch that last game.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Or are you done with
No, that was basically it.
There was one thing I saw about, like, regarding the Herman situation. The reason why... Because Scherzer was using rosin in the dugout as well, right?
Yes. I totally forgot about that.
A reason why teams are doing that is because teams are arguing, like, oh, yeah, like, the pitch clock is making it so they don't have time to apply rosin, so they need to do it in the dugout.
Right.
But then it's a thing of, is the rosin different?
Right.
Because not on the mound, you can't see what they're doing exactly. Like, should there be someone that's like, literally just like an umpire, their job is just to, like, sit there right here, watch the rosin?
Yeah.
But then it's also another thing of, like, who says that Scherzer doesn't just, like, go into his bag to, like, grab a cup of water or his water bottle. When he's grabbing his water bottle, he just hands like, the bag.
Little whatever.
So it's like, this is just such a...
And you're not allowed to go into the dugout and get that rosin. And yet, Domingo Herman was allowed. But then Scherzer does it, and it's an issue.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if it's a little, like, jab at him, kind of like, hey.
And also it just being softest umpire on the planet other than Angel Hernandez.
Yeah, but regardless, I'm sure everyone's heard different things about it and different perspectives, so we'll just move on from that. Yeah. It's frustrating, but it is what it is at this point. But on to the good news. I want to talk about David Peterson. So first off, I'm going to get a little nerdy, pull out some numbers. It's time. It's nerdy time. So he does not have great season stats. And it's telling because 6 innings, 6 earned runs, not great. So he has a 3.56 expected FIP. What that means is expected FIP, or xFIP, takes into account home run to fly ball ratio and uses league average. So league average is 10.5, meaning I believe for every 10.5 fly balls.
For every 1,000 fly balls, 105 of them would be home runs.
Right. So the league average is 10.5%. David Peterson is at 31.3%. So it's one of those things where expected FIP takes into account that he's not going to have a 31% home run to fly ball rate for the entire year. He's going to regress back to the mean. So what expected FIP does is puts his numbers into perspective if he had that regular 10.5 rate. And a 3.5 FIP is
solid.
Great.
For your, fifth starter, that's pretty solid.
Exactly. So I think he's getting a little, not necessarily unlucky, but I think there's some regression to the mean waiting to happen. And another thing I've noticed, his...
Positive regression to the mean.
Yeah, positive regression. Another thing I noticed is his pitches. So in 2022, his out pitch was his slider. So I'm going to talk about pitch run values. So what that means is 0 is an average pitch. If it's -2, that means that pitch gets 2+ more outs, or it's
2 less runs scored than league average.
Right.
Based off that pitch.
It's a better pitch in the negative. It's a worse pitch in the positive.
Pitcher stuff is always negative better, positive worse.
Right. So his slider in 2022 had a -5 run value. This year it has a +5 run value. So very stark difference. He doesn't really have that out pitch, and his slider's getting hit hard. So I looked into it, and he has a little less vertical and a little less horizontal movement overall. So he's not exactly getting the same bite, I guess you want to call it, or
not as much movement.
Put it lightly, he's not getting as much movement as he was in 2022 when he had a really solid year.
That could be the difference of dotting it and hanging it right down the middle.
Exactly, which he did a couple times to Freeman, to Muncy, to Austin Wynns. And then another thing is his fastball is getting smoked. He's never been known as a good fastball guy. He sits 94, 93, 94, but his fastball has a +3 run value. So it's getting hit pretty hard comparatively. On the other side, his changeup has actually been pretty good. He's known as a fastball slider guy, but his changeup's been pretty solid. He has a -4 run value on his changeup. So I think it's one of those things where he just needs some minor adjustments, fix that slider, kind of get it back to the form last year.
Kind of mess with your repertoire, how much you're throwing specific pitches.
Right. Throw the fastball less. Maybe throw changeup more. Maybe a sinker changeup type. And I think I still am very high on him. I feel like that's been pretty prevalent. So I think he's still going to be very solid. But as of right now, I like looking at expected stats to tell how a pitcher is faring and how he's going to look for the future. But the stats are the stats. If he's not producing, he's not. But I think this is the bright side to look at, and I think he's just going to go up from here. But moving on from that, let the kids play. They're already sitting Beatty against lefties. And how is he supposed to get better against lefties? If your issue with him is him not hitting against lefties, how is he supposed to get better hitting against lefties if he's not going to be played against lefties?
You're not strong enough to do a certain activity, but we're not going to let you work out to get stronger.
Exactly. It's extremely frustrating. I've said it multiple times. If you're calling them up, you're going to let them play. Same thing with Alvarez. He's barely catching. And at this point, it's one of those things where are you, stunting his growth? You're not letting him catch. You're not letting him get at-bats. So what's the deal? I know Buck is an older guy. He's going to play the veterans over the rookies 9 times out of 10, I would think. But these guys are your top 2 prospects, and you're barely playing them. I know Beatty was just called up. I don't mind him sitting against Kershaw, because Kershaw is just, like we said earlier, one of the best pitchers, if not the best pitcher of this generation. And he's a lefty, so I get it. But
definitely the best lefty pitcher, I would say, of our generation.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, he sat the first game versus the Giants against Sean Manaea, who's a lefty. It's frustrating. Manaea isn't that good of a lefty, so I would have liked to see him there. But it's to the point where I think you just need to play them. It's simple.
Do you think part of it could be Oracle's not that forgiving to lefties.
Right.
That may be part. I'm just trying to
Maybe, but if he's gonna establish himself as a major leaguer, he's gonna
where.
play in Oracle Park.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things he needs to play. So does Alvarez. So I think Buck said he's gonna play tonight. Both of them are gonna play tonight, so that's good to hear. But just play them. I don't want to see. I love Nito. He can't hit water if he fell out of a boat.
Yeah.
And Escobar had a good game. Spoiler alert. But still. Beatty should be playing. Alvarez should be playing. Looking ahead to the San Francisco Giants series.
Game 1 is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
I'm predicting a Mets win.
Yeah? Me too.
I am predicting a...
What are you predicting?
I'm predicting a
9-4 win, would you say?
I would definitely go 9-4.
Yeah.
I think that the Mets are going to score 3 runs in the 7th inning. That is my prediction. I'm going to say about 13 hits.
Okay. They played the first game already. This is a bit late. I know. We're sorry. But that game was Kodai Senga versus Sean Manaea.
Let me guess, 9-4?
They won 9-4.
They won 9-4?
Spoiler alert.
I'm that smart.
But we'll get into that next episode. Senga Manaea was the first game. Tonight, Joey Lucchesi is making his debut this year against Anthony Desclafani.
We got some Italian stallions on the bum.
Italian stallion. But Lucchesi, just coming off Tommy John, he's been really good in the minors so far. He's probably going to take Carrasco's spot, and then they'll figure out who the hell to replace with Scherzer.
What, you think you're better than me? I am better than you. No, I'm better than you.
Yeah.
Just going back and forth. Garbage.
One strikeout, 2 strikeouts, 3 strikeouts. But no.
Makes the catcher drop the ball so you
get 4 strikeouts. But I'm very interested to see how Lucchesi looks. Again, he's been really good in the minors, and he was solid in 2021 when he was up. Just notable player against Desclafani. Lindor's hitting .533 in 15 at-bats with 3 home runs. So, small sample size, but 3 home runs and 15 at-bats.
Yeah, but Lindor's not that guy. He doesn't have the grit to him.
No, he doesn't have the X-grit.
His expected grit is in the 5th percentile.
Third game, David Peterson, my guy, versus Logan Webb. I think Oracle Park is a little more pitcher-friendly, I would say.
Definitely.
So maybe we'll start seeing that positive regression this start.
I think you gave up, 3 home runs to lefties? You're not giving up 3 home runs to lefties unless you try to in that ballpark.
Right.
Especially as a lefty.
Right. So Logan Webb, he's 0-4 to start the year, but he has really solid numbers. Some notable players. I want Beatty to play, but Escobar is hitting .308 in 13 at-bats, and Marte is hitting .375 in 8 at-bats. So small sample size, but something to look at. Forgot to mention, Marte is dealing with neck stiffness. So he is day-to-day. He did not play in Game 1. Hopefully he's back tonight, but we'll see how that goes. And then Game 4, Sunday night game, Tyler McGill versus To Be Determined. To Be Determined is a very good pitcher. I believe the Mets are about evenly split against To Be Determined.
They have not won nor lost a game. They have not scored a run, but they have also not struck out against them.
Exactly. Tyler McGill is coming off a decent start against the Dodgers. Again, all his runs from the last start came from J.D. Martinez. So this is, I would say, a weaker Giants lineup. So looking for good stuff from McGill, but it's about it. This is the last piece of the West Coast trip, and then the Mets are back in New York against the Nationals starting next week. Thank God, because I'm getting tired of staying up till 1 in the morning to watch these games. As good games as they've been, but I'm tired. I won't sleep. But Scherzer's situation is frustrating. Play the kids. Nimmo's on fire. Love to see it.
No.
That's all I got.
I don't
got
anything.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to subscribe. Follow us on Spotify. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. And we'll see you in the next one.
All right. See you guys.
See ya.